Hello students, today we are going to study the topic in chemistry, that is a study of compound HCl. As you all know, HCl is being called as hydrogen chloride, or it is also called as hydrochloric acid. In this lesson we are going to study occurrence of HCl, how it is prepared. The preparation methods are general as well as laboratory, physical properties, chemical properties and uses of HCl. Now in this lesson we have actually two parts. What are the two parts? First we are just going to study about the HCl gas, and the second part is we are going to study HCl acid. So what is the difference? You are going to understand it as we will go through the lesson. Now the molecular formula of HCl is HCl. Okay, so one hydrogen is bonded with chlorine. So chlorine 7 electrons in the outermost shell, hydrogen 1 electron in the outermost shell. This hydrogen it shares its 1 electron with chlorine, so chlorine gets 8 as well as hydrogen gets 2. Therefore HCl is a covalent compound and it is known as polar covalent compound. Polar you must have studied in chemical bonding. Polar means which develops slight positive charge as well as slight negative charge. So therefore the molecular formula of HCl is HCl, which is covalent compound. It occurs in volcanic emissions as well as gastric juices of mammals. You must have studied in biology that it occurs in gastric juices of mammals as well. Now the next part we are going to start with the preparation methods of HCl. So HCl gas is prepared by general methods. The first method is by synthesis. Synthesis is direct combination. You must have studied in 9th standard. So direct combination means what? When two elements combine, they give one compound. So hydrogen reacts with chlorine to give HCl. This is first method of the preparation of HCl gas, that is by direct synthesis, direct combination or by synthesis reaction. Now let's go to the second method of preparation of HCl gas. First was direct synthesis from hydrogen and chlorine in presence of diffused sunlight. It gives HCl. By second method is by heating metallic chloride. So any of the metallic chloride, that like NaCl, when it reacts with sulfuric acid H2SO4. Now here there are two conditions where less than 200 degrees Celsius temperature is there and greater than 200 degrees. So when it is less than 200 degrees Celsius, it forms sodium bisulfite, and when it is greater than 200, it forms sodium bisulfate. So and with the emission of HCl gas. So when metal chloride like NaCl, copper chloride, when they react with H2SO4, on heating they give salt as well as the HCl gases evolved. So this is second method of preparation. So two methods of preparation: direct combination method and by heating with metallic chloride with concentrated H2SO4. So here always remember, whenever you study the reaction, you should remember whether the acid uses concentrated or dilute. So here the reaction of metal chloride is with concentrated HCl. So do not forget to mention this. When it is less than 200, it forms one hydrogen is replaced from sulfuric acid, it forms NaHSO4, and when it is greater than 200, it forms replaces both the hydrogen, where it gives Na2SO4. So these are the two methods of preparation of HCl. Now the next and very important method of preparation of HCl gas is the laboratory preparation. So how HCl is prepared in laboratory? The gas is prepared in laboratory by using the reactants like NaCl and concentrated sulfuric acid, the one which we have studied here. So this method is NaCl and concentrated sulfuric acid using laboratory preparation method. Now for this laboratory preparation method, this is the apparatus. We have a flat bottom flask. In this flat bottom flask, we have taken this NaCl, that is common salt, table salt. Then this flat bottom flask, why do we use flat bottom flask? Because it provides more surface area. Therefore we use flat bottom flask, not round bottom flask. Then we have a Thesel funnel. The end of the Thesel funnel is dipped into the NaCl solution. Then we have this delivery tube by which the formed HCl gas is collected. Here we have one jar in which we have taken concentrated H2SO4. Why we have taken this, we will study during the process formation of the process. And then we have another delivery tube which goes into the another jar where dry HCl gas is collected. Now this laboratory preparation method, we take NaCl. In this NaCl we add concentrated H2SO4 through the Thissell funnel. This concentrated H2SO4 reacts with NaCl. So this is the reaction. It reacts with NaCl to give NaHSO4 plus HCl. This HCl now it goes up through this delivery tube and is collected into this jar where concentrated H2SO4 is kept. Concentrated H2SO4, it actually acts as a drying agent. Drying agent means if any moisture is there into this HCl, to remove this moisture, we make it pass through concentrated H2SO4 and then it absorbs the moisture, and then this HCl, dry HCl gas is being collected into this jar. So NaCl reacts with H2SO4 to give NaHSO4 and HCl. This NaHSO4 again reacts with excess of NaCl at greater than 200 degrees Celsius to give Na2SO4 plus HCl. Why NaCl is used? Because it is very cheap, so it is preferred over other metal chlorides. And concentrated acid uses only concentrated H2SO4, concentrated HNO3 not used because it is volatile. So when it is volatile, it will vaporize and it might react with HCl and it will not give dry HCl gas. Now, as I said, the drying agent uses concentrated H2SO4 because it absorbs the moisture from the HCl to give dry HCl gas. There are other drying agents which like phosphorus pentoxide, calcium oxide. They are not used because they react with HCl. So remember this thing in board exams. This question is many times asked, like why phosphorus pentoxide or quicklime, that is calcium oxide, is not used as drying agent? Because they react with HCl. Therefore concentrated H2SO4 is used as the drying agent which removes the moisture and it does not react with HCl. Now how is the gas collected? You can see the arrangement here. Here there are two, actually the collection of gas is done by two methods, downward and upward displacement. So downward displacement means what? For example, if you take a jar, if this gas is here air is there into this jar. So when you take a jar, here it is filled with air. If you put a gas into this and if this gas is lighter, it will remain up only because air is heavier than it. And there is another method where you take a jar where air is filled, and if you fill a gas into, collect a gas into it, it pushes the air up and it moves down. It is collected here. So HCl gas is collected by upward displacement of air. Upward displacement means it is heavier than air, therefore it is collected by upward displacement of air. So I have written here upward displacement of air as it is heavier than air. It is not collected over water because it is highly soluble in water. Therefore HCl is not collected over water because it is highly soluble in water. Now two things we have done. How it is purified? By using drying agent, that is concentrated H2SO4. It is collection down upward displacement of air because it is heavier than air, and it is not collected over water as it is highly soluble in water. Why the lower end should be dipped? Because whatever the HCl is being formed, it should not go again into this Thissell funnel and it should not react with H2SO4. Therefore, it should be dipped into the lower end should be dipped into NaCl, because whatever HCl is formed is directly goes into this delivery tube and not back into the Thissell funnel. Then the temperature should be maintained nearly 200 degrees Celsius. Why so? Because the whole apparatus is made up of glass. If the temperature rises more, the glass may get cracked. Even the fuel will waste, and when the temperature is more than 200 degrees Celsius, it forms crystals of sodium sulfate. These crystals, whichever are formed here, they get collected, stick to the glass rod and it stops the further reaction. So temperature should be nearly 200 as glass may crack. fuel might waste, and sodium sulfate forms crystal and it sticks to the rod and it is difficult to remove. So it stops the further reaction. Therefore, these are the precautions which we should take during the laboratory preparation of HCl. Remember these precautions because these are asked in board exams. They ask you, give reason why the end of the thistle funnel should be dipped in concentrated H2SO4, because the HCl which is formed should not enter back into the thistle funnel. Why temperature is maintained? Because glass may not crack, the glass apparatus will not crack, then the crystals will not be formed, so that they do not stick to the glass rod and they are very difficult to remove. So these are the reasons behind the formation. So this is the laboratory preparation of HCl gas. Now, as I said that HCl is highly soluble in water. So how do we detect the solubility of HCl? This is very important experiment, that is fountain experiment. Now, whatever HCl is gas is formed, how do we know that this gas is formed? So there are identification methods of this. So how do we identify that HCl is formed? We take a glass rod, dip this glass rod in ammonium hydroxide, that is NH4OH. Dip this glass rod in NH4OH and take this glass rod near this jar. When you take this NH4OH glass rod dipped near the HCl jar, it gives dense white fumes of NH4Cl. So the reaction here is, see, bring a glass rod dipped with ammonium hydroxide near its mouth, it gives dense white fumes of NH4Cl. So NH4OH, when it reacts with HCl, it gives NH4Cl plus H2O. So this is the one of the tests for identification of HCl gas, that glass rod dipped with ammonium hydroxide, take near its mouth, it gives dense white fumes of NH4Cl. How do we observe? We observe by dense white fumes of NH4Cl are formed. So this is the laboratory preparation method of HCl gas. Using NaCl and concentrated H2SO4, it gives NaHSO4, then Na2SO4 and HCl. This HCl is being carried through a jar where drying agent like concentrated H2SO4 is used. It removes moisture and then it is collected by upward displacement of air, because it is heavier than air, and not collected over water because it is highly soluble in water. It is identified by taking a glass rod dipped with NH4OH. It gives dense white fumes of NH4Cl. So this is laboratory preparation of HCl. Now this HCl gas, while the preparation is being carried out, there are some precautions. So what are the precautions? The precautions is, as I told you, the lower end of thistle funnel should be dipped into the solution, because it must be dipped in concentrated H2SO4, and even the delivery tube is dipped in drying agent, that is concentrated H2SO4. Why this is so? So this experiment is being asked in exam. Remember this, it is very important experiment. They'll ask you which is the experiment which shows that HCl is highly soluble in water, that is fountain experiment. Now see the apparatus properly. We have the stand to which we have attached an inverted round bottom flask. This flask is dipped into blue litmus solution into a jar. In this jar we have taken blue litmus solution. Now this flask has two tubes. This is one jet tube and this is another tube which is a dropper. Into this dropper we have filled water. Okay, into this dropper we have filled water. This is a jet tube. Now how this is carried out, just pay attention. When you press this dropper is filled with water. So the water into this dropper, it moves out. Here in this jar we have filled dry HCl gas. So when water enters into this jar, this dry HCl gas gets soluble into water. When this dry HCl gases get soluble into water, whole HCl which was present here, gaseous HCl, it is reacted with water. So the pressure here decreases. As the pressure inside this round bottom flask decreases, the outside pressure increases. This outside pressure, it pushes this blue litmus solution into this jet tube. When it pushes this blue litmus solution into this jet tube, this blue litmus rises up and it turns into a fountain. Now, as this solution is blue, but when it rises up and it turns into a red color. Why? Because when HCl reacts with water, it forms acidic HCl, and this acidic HCl, it turns blue litmus solution to red, and therefore the fountain, red color fountain is being obtained. So due to difference in pressure, the atmospheric pressure pushes the blue litmus solution into the jet tube. This rises up and we can see a red color fountain. Now, the next part which we are going to study is the fifth reaction of HCl on thiosulfates. This reaction helps us to distinguish between sulfides and thiosulfides. Sulfide, I told you, they give SO2, isn't it? We have seen sulfides, when they react with HCl, they give SO2 gas, sulfur dioxide. But when HCl reacts with thiosulfates, Na2S2O3 is thiosulfate, is S2O3 is the group. So when HCl reacts with thiosulfate, it gives salt, water. Along with that, it gives SO2 plus sulfur in the form of precipitate. When you further heat this, due to this azeotrope solution, it will not reduce or increase the concentration of the acid. So no further increase in concentration is possible on boiling, and this therefore we use the azeotrope solution for concentration of HCl. So this is HCl concentration. Now we are going to study the chemical properties of HCl. So the third reaction is when reaction with metals. So when HCl gas, when it reacts with metal like sodium, it gives salt, NaCl, and hydrogen gases evolved. Always show upward arrow when a gas is evolved. Calcium, when it reacts with HCl, it forms calcium chloride, salt, chlorides, sulfates, they are all salts. So calcium chloride, metallic salt, and hydrogen is evolved. Zinc with HCl, it gives zinc chloride and hydrogen gases evolved. So this is reaction with metals. The fourth chemical property of HCl gas is reaction with ammonia. We have seen that ammonia, when it reacts with HCl, it forms ammonium chloride. This is the only reaction in which two gases combine to form a solid. So in exam, if they ask a reaction where, tell the reaction where two gases react to form a solid compound, this is the only reaction where ammonia, gaseous ammonia react with gaseous HCl to give solid ammonium chloride. So hydrogen chloride, gaseous, it reacts with ammonia to form ammonium chloride. So this is all which we have studied about gaseous hydrogen chloride, that is HCl. The next part which we are going to see is about hydrogen chloride as acid. So hydrogen chloride as acid, when it becomes acidic, when HCl, it reacts with water, it comes in contact with water, then it becomes acidic. Acid means what? We have studied in acid, base and salt, which gives hydronium ion as the only ion. So HCl as an acid, we are going to study about HCl as an acid. So this experiment shows that HCl is highly soluble in water because the water into the dropper pushes up, HCl gas it solubilizes into the water, it reduces the pressure, the outside pressure makes the blue litmus rise into jet tube, which comes out as a fountain due to atmospheric pressure, and this is red color fountain because blue litmus, when it comes in a blue litmus solution, when it comes in contact with an acidic HCl, it gives a red color solution. So this is fountain experiment which is used to show that HCl is highly soluble in water. Now the next part is chemical properties. So chemical properties are what? Physical properties are not that important. You can just read from the textbook. So I'll just explain chemical properties. So these are chemical properties of HCl gas. HCl, it is the first property is combustion. So HCl, it is neither combustible, it is nor a support of combustion. So it does not support burning. So HCl is neither combustible and nor a support of combustion. Second chemical property is thermal decomposition. As we have seen in general methods of formation of HCl, the first method was when H2 reacts with Cl2 in diffuse sunlight, it gives HCl. So this is the reverse reaction, thermal decomposition, where HCl, when the temperature is above 500 degrees Celsius, it again decomposes into hydrogen and chlorine. So on heating, it dissociates into hydrogen gas and chlorine gas. So this is second chemical property of HCl, that is decomposition into hydrogen and chlorine at high temperature. The third is reaction with metals. So remember one very important reaction, that any metal, when it reacts with an acid, it always gives salt and hydrogen. Hydrogen gases evolve. So this is very important reaction in chemistry. Always remember this reaction. Now we are going to study the chemical properties of HCl acid. As it is acid, therefore the nature, it is strongly acidic in nature. You all know that acid always turn blue litmus red. This is the test for the HCl, that is it turns blue litmus red. The another test for HCl acid is it turns methyl orange to pink color. So this is the first test or chemical property of HCl, that is it is strongly acidic in nature. How can we detect that it is acidic? It turns blue litmus red or it turns methyl orange to pink. The second chemical property is reaction of metals. Always remember this reaction, that any metal, when it reacts with an acid, it forms salt and hydrogen. I have told you in the previous part also. So when calcium, magnesium metals, when they react with HCl acid, it forms the salt of metal salt, metallic salt, and hydrogen is evolved. So it forms calcium chloride with calcium to form and gives hydrogen gas, magnesium chloride with magnesium, and it gives hydrogen gas. The third chemical property is action on oxides and hydroxide. So any metal oxide or metal hydroxide, they both are bases, isn't it? Metal oxide, hydroxide is always a base. So any base, this oxide, hydroxide, when they react with HCl, it also gives salt and water is formed. So here with metals, it gives hydrogen. With oxides and hydroxides, it gives salt and water. So if magnesium hydroxide, when it reacts with HCl, it gives magnesium chloride and water. Sodium hydroxide, when it reacts with HCl, it gives sodium chloride and water. So these are the four chemical properties that is it's acidic, it reacts with metal to give salt and hydrogen, it reacts with oxides or hydroxide to give salt and water. Now we will see the next chemical properties of HCl acid. Now the second part of hydrogen chloride as acid. So first we are going to, in this also we are going to study the preparation methods, the chemical properties and the uses. So laboratory preparation, how it is prepared, we have seen this reaction with sodium chloride. When it reacts with H2SO4, it gives at less than 200 or more than 200 degrees Celsius, it gives sodium sulfate plus HCl. Now when this HCl reacts with water, it gives HCl acid. So this is the method of preparation, laboratory method of HCl gas. The same gas which is formed, it is reacted with water to form HCl acid. So this is how hydrogen chloride gas, acidic gas is being prepared. So when react with water, it gives HCl acid. Now the next part, this HCl, how this HCl is, when the laboratory preparation is done, there are some precautions which are taken. So we have seen this laboratory preparation mein, we have seen this apparatus was used, isn't it? So same, this apparatus, whatever dry HCl gas is formed here, this dry HCl gas again is connected with another delivery tube, and then it is attached to a funnel, inverted funnel in a water jar. Okay, so this is the further assembly for preparation of hydrogen acid, hydrochloric acid. So how this dry HCl, it is passed through this delivery tube with the inverted funnel, which is filled which is dipped into a jar which is filled with water. So this is the assembly you can see, inverted funnel which is dipped into water. Now why this inverted funnel is used and why this water is used? So pay attention. Whenever this dry HCl gas enters into this tube, this dry HCl gas, it reacts with the water. When it reacts with water, it forms HCl acid. This HCl acid, it creates a pressure. Due to this pressure, the water might enter. This HCl dry gas reacts with water, it forms HCl acid. It creates a vacuum. Due to this vacuum, this water might enter into this jar. Again HCl gas comes, again it reacts with the water, again it forms dilute HCl. So the next chemical properties is when HCl reacts with salts of weaker acids. So salts of weaker acids like carbonates, bicarbonates, sulfides and sulfides. These are very important reactions. This help us to know the practical chemistry. So what is practical chemistry? That I'll tell you when we'll study the reaction. So when HCl react with the carbonate, HCl react with carbonate like sodium carbonate, or it reacts with bicarbonate, it gives CO2 is evolved. Okay, so when HCl reacts with carbonates and bicarbonates, it forms salt, water and CO2 is evolved. So with carbonates, bicarbonate, it gives CO2 gases evolved. When it reacts with sulfides, now please remember what is sulfides and what is sulfides. Sulfide is SO3 group and sulfide is S group. Okay, so metal sulfides like Na2SO3, when it reacts with acid, it gives salt, water, but in here as it is sulfide, it will give SO2, sulfur dioxide is evolved. So with sulfide and bisulfides, sulfide and bisulfide, bisulfide is HSO3, it gives SO2 gas is evolved. And when it reacts with sulfides like Na2S or FeS, iron sulfide, sodium sulfides with HCl, they give salt and H2S is evolved. So H2S, or remember this gas has a rotten egg smell. So these are the chemical properties that with carbonates, bicarbonate, it gives CO2. When HCl reacts with carbonates, bicarbonate, it gives CO2. When HCl reacts with sulfides and bisulfides, it gives SO2, sulfur dioxide. And when HCl reacts with sulfides, metal sulfides, it gives H2S gas which has a rotten egg smell. So this is the very important part for practical chemistry. Now why this back section method is used? Pay attention. Since HCl highly soluble in water, the water rises up in the funnel, that is back suction process, it is known as back suction occurs, and in turn the level outside the funnel falls, creating an air gap. So the funnel arrangement is used to prevent and minimize back suction of water. So why the funnel is used? To prevent and minimize the back suction of water so that it does not go up, and it provides a large surface area for absorption of HCl gas. So this provides a large surface area. So there are two reasons why funnel arrangement is inverted funnel is used: to prevent or minimize back suction of water and to provide a large surface area for absorption of HCl. Even this HCl, if it reacts like when this HCl, it comes down when this reacts with water, to avoid again if this water goes and it reacts with the HCl which was collected in the jar, it might lead to an explosive reaction. So to avoid explosion due to back suction of water, funnel arrangement is used. So these are the reasons why funnel arrangement is used. Okay, so this is the method of preparation of HCl acid HCl. Through this dry HCl enters into this funnel, it reacts with the water and then it forms HCl acid. This water, to prevent the back suction of water and to provide large surface area and to avoid explosive reaction, the inverted funnel arrangement is used. Okay, this is very, very important. This is very important topic which is always asked in board exam. So remember this thing. Now this how to make this HCl concentrated. So concentration means what? To increase, to minimize the level of water and to increase the acid level. So HCl can be concentrated by heating. This heating can be done by using azeotrope solution. So what is azeotrope solution? It is the solution which stops the further concentration of it is constant boiling mixture. Azeotrope solution is the constant boiling mixture. For example, like first when HCl was formed, it was having 70% acid and 30% water. When you heat it, the water evaporated and it gave 60% of water and 40% of acid. When you further heat this, due to this azeotrope solution, it will not reduce or increase the concentration